Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night Chronicle. I am the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. Last, we left off with our Anarch coterie. We opened up with them arriving at the Red Eye Lounge to see the aftermath of a bar brawl that had taken place. They got to tell Otis about the Lupine situation and how they might be associated with Werner Hertzfeld. We got to see the two police cars and their conversation, the tail end of the conversations between the officers and John Coulson. We got to see them caring for a woman who was a victim of the violence. And in the office, they kind of went through the spiel about what they found out about the motorcycle club being associated with Hertzfeld, how they might have some of the Lupines working with them. And they asked Otis to put them up in a safe house for the evening and to have some meals arranged for them, which the Otis's sheriff, Manny Garza, was more than happy to give them. When they arrived at the safe house that was provided for them, they saw that some cows were waiting for them, a couple of cows. Melvin fed from one, Andreas fed from one, and our good ex-state senator had two to himself to try to help offset the amount of blood he was going to have to use to heal his aggravated damage. The next night, they ended up taking Lydia, after talking to her about her father's notes and why people might be after her, over to the Tower Apartments to leave her back in the little apartment that had been given to Connie as a haven in exchange for the gift that she gave back to Anastasia Richards. After showing Lydia the knives that they had taken from the would-be assassin that almost took out Erickson Wood, she noted that the glyphs were Arabic to her best of her knowledge, and one that either stood for justice or death on one knife, and the other could be translated as retribution. But she did mention as well that her father might not have been as close to Atlantis as his research denoted, and was more likely being led to discover the city of Enoch, as a references to the Book of Nod kept coming up in the research that she took over. But afterwards, they ended up heading over to one of the addresses in the ledger the copy of the ledger that they had from the Malkavian Primogens estate, and they saw that it led them to a phlebotomy training specialist, which was an annex of Kaiser General, and they almost ended up killing the guard, but they managed to talk their way into being let into the building. And after noticing how clean the halls were and how sterile everything seemed, they saw that there was some kind of monstrosity kind of feeling its way around one of the rooms through the viewplate. They got to see that there was some kind of medical equipment on hand, that it looked like a place for someone to kind of sit down, very much like either an optometrist or a dental chair. And we left off with them studying this creature, getting its attention in the worst shape possible, and that's where we're going to find our three handsome boys. Hello, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Pleasantries, and you're throwing this monstrosity at us.
Yep.
Listen,
Thanks.
Hello.
We have discussed that if I were a mean person, this would be a vase, and it'd be about 10 feet high and like 7 feet wide, with 18 arms, all clawed and ready for action. This,
I described it in heavy detail.
Yeah, this by sheer accounts is nowhere near that monstrous.
Thanks, I guess. Thanks.
But we left off with the door opening, or rather, one of you saying something under your breath. Its head turning in your direction, rushing over and throwing open the door, and then Andreas Barker turning on silence of death. The thing smells of death There's the scent of formaldehyde, that kind of high school chemistry lab, biology lab scent whenever you had to do dissections. It is unpleasant, to say the least. And you notice the jaw unhinge and open up like a flower, but no sound comes out of it. You can feel the breath being exhaled. You can sense the heat of it against your faces as it comes close, but there's no real sound that comes out of it. And if you look down its gullet, you'll notice that anything, that could have been biologically given to whoever was used for this fusion has been removed as far as like vocality is concerned. There's nothing in its throat to make noise.
Like, about how wide is this space that we're in?
Yeah.
The hallway is about 12 feet wide.
Okay.
It's 10, almost 12 feet tall. The fluorescent lighting, the moment the door kind of slams open, the fluorescent light bulbs above you kind of flicker with the shake of just how heavy the thud is from the door coming in contact with the wall. But as far as like the reverberation of noise itself, a lot of it is lost. Mostly due to what you imagine is the amount of padding and sound diffusion that has gone into the walls here. And a lot of it might have to do with just how eerily quiet it has become around Andreas.
Okay.
I pull out a coin, one of the coins that I still have from the casino.
Yeah.
And I throw it down the hallway.
Its head turns as the clatter actually reverberates off of the first bounce. Once it's cleared the distance from Andreas' kind of zone of influence, it turns in that direction. The second clatter sees its head tilt, and then the little arm on its right side reaches out, and just the back of it brushes against one of you. And the moment it does, it turns and grabs.
What?
You guys are all in melee with it, so you guys can go in whatever order you'd like.
Who's it grabbing?
You know what? Let's leave it up to the dice.
I already know what it is.
We'll say
no, it's gonna be me.
No, we'll say 1, 2, and 3. It's gonna be Erickson. 4, 5, and 6. It'll be Andreas. 7, 8, and 9 will be Melvin, and then 10. I will let it be your choice between the three of you.
It's okay. He's gonna roll a 2. He's gonna roll a 2.
He's gonna roll an 8.
Roll the 4, so it's Andreas.
Yeah.
So the one that didn't say shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? Out of all of us, he is the least hurt.
It's okay because even if I'm getting grabbed, Will, I'm popping claws.
Ooh, make a rouse check, my friend. You got claws? Who let you get claws?
9. I am aroused.
Ooh. It is. Your pants feel a little tighter as your fingertips grow out.
I thought only Gangrel could do the extra horn. But yeah. Oh god, if I was a Gangrel, I'd be doing the fangs, the claws, the foot claws, everything.
Hold on, X-23.
Oh, remember that was the old rule in 3rd edition, and I think 20th is that Gangrel were the only ones who could, with Protean, they could grow their claws, they could grow claws from their feet, and they could make their fangs bigger to do like an extra pointed hag.
I remember that there was an amalgam power where you needed something and Protean 3 to get the Viking claws, which were a little bit longer, a little bit more jagged, and they did an extra die of aggravated damage.
I think that was in like Wolves of the Sea.
Yeah. Good times.
I'm gonna activate Daunt.
You gonna activate Daunt?
I'm gonna activate Daunt.
Okay. Well, that's a level 1 discipline power, so there's no cost to that.
Correct.
So it is not looking in your direction. It is definitely got its eyes set on Andreas, since that's where its arm has clutched.
So it has eyes?
It does. They're milky white. But the moment its head comes back, its eyes kind of lazily slosh in the in its cranium. It's got 2 sets of corneas, 2 sets of like the little black orb in the center of the eye, but the coloring seems to almost shift from like a dark brown to a kind of hazel green, and it looks like 2 eyes were fused together in such a way that it's one ovular cavity of color, but it does have the distinction of like where the colors blend together, like they've bled into each other from like a watercolor. It is almost sad, but it's very creepy, because even though the main color is that kind of whitish gray, there is that muted sense of these were actual people's eyes at one point. It is a sight to see.
It's
horrifying is what it is.
That sounds glorious. I shoot it in the eye.
Yeah. I will actually cast Silence of Death as well, and then shoot it
what a
in the
marvelous description. I shoot it in its face.
So great. I shoot it right in the fucking guts of its eyeball.
Can we like synchronize this where we try to shoot it?
You can do it. Live your life, baby.
When you see me pull out my gun and shoot it in the face, by all means, shoot it in the fucking face too if you want.
Quick question: how did it grab me? With like just one of these tentacle limbs?
No. So
is there an actual arm?
Its right arm is an actual arm. It's 2 arms that have been fused one on top of the other. So the pinkies are kind of fused together, and it just has this kind of double hand, double thumb scenario going on.
So just a full-on Guillermo del Toro effect.
Correct. The left arm is the kind of broken up at the elbow, like 3 or 4 sets of arms that kind of split out and each have a hand. But it looks like it uses its right hand to sense more than anything. But yeah, if I could have Melvin and Erickson roll their composure and firearms.
Oh yeah.
My lowest one. Yeah.
Ooh. I mean,
I still have 2 hunger.
Yep. So Melvin's at 1 hunger. Erickson's at 2 hunger.
My favorite movie was always In the Line of Fire.
Ooh, dun, 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 dun.
Out of 4 dice, I had 3 successes.
Nice.
I rolled a 7, 7, a 9, and a 2.
Okay.
I only got 2 successes, but they're both 10s, and one of them's on the hunger.
Oh. Well, okay.
Okay.
You can't really messy crit a firearms roll.
All of a sudden,
like I'm not gonna have the beast like take out its frustration on your firearm. That's cruel and unjust.
For now,
both of you have small arms, right? Because these are like.
Yeah, I have an M1911.
Yeah.
So I have a snub nose. So
okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to do +2 damage to this thing. So you said you rolled 3, Melvin.
Yes.
So that's going to be 5 points of damage to it. And then Erickson, you said you did
motherfucking eye.
in its motherfucking eye. Erickson, you said that you had a crit, so that's 4 successes. +2 makes it 6. So that's 11 points of damage to this thing.
Into the eye. Same eye.
Same
One eye, and then it goes the bullet comes in right after.
Same eye.
Right in the middle of the head.
Almost like crossing the streams. Both of you.
That's right.
Both of you tap the tip of your guns together and fire into the same kind of ocular cavity. The back of this head explodes outward in this vivid display of dark red, brown, and black viscera that is a huge juxtaposition to the kind of sterile white of the room. And it just kind of lets both of its jaw sides kind of open, and then they go slack, drop, and the whole thing kind of just slumps backwards.
Cool.
You know, I don't say it. I get silent to death. You don't even hear me say that.
Yeah.
It's like, yo,
You've taken out the creature in general.
I gave it mercy. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
It was an abomination for this world.
I was just happy to kill something.
It
I
also
was just
touched
happy
my
to be
friend.
like, yay, this is awesome.
It touched my friend in his no-no spot.
Right in the no-no
which is
spot.
anywhere. Which is anywhere on my friend.
I was like, on behalf of my no-no spot, I appreciate it.
That was artistically done. Well, that was a great explanation.
You like it?
It's
I
murder.
love all that explanation, and then we just shot it in the eye twice.
I'm glad that I can facilitate your immersion into this world.
I know it's amazing.
Yeah. But
You fucking slimed me.
you notice that none of the rest of the hallway is. If there's anybody else in the rooms, nobody has come out. There's no real noise from any of the other rooms. Inside the room itself, now that you've kind of got the time to look into it, you'll notice that there's a small table with different tools and instruments for dissection or operating. Excuse me. And it looks like behind the actual leaning chair, or kind of reclining chair, there looks to be a metal wastebasket with the top of it kind of charred black, and what looks to be the rolled up and worn spiral notebook by it.
We'll pick up said notebook and look at it
Okay.
and make sure that certain people don't share it with everybody.
Why won't you share information with each other, man?
Oh no, with each other. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know who he's talking about.
He doesn't know who I'm talking about.
I don't know anyway.
His silence of death is still on, so he's saying all these words,
Yeah,
and I
it's just Silence of Death was on a few times.
Yeah, right. You'll notice that a majority of the pages have been ripped out, and coming into the room and kind of picking it up near the wastebasket, you'll notice that it looks like some of the pages that were torn out have been burned up. There's a small pile of ash. It smells of something that has been burnt recently. As you get closer to it, the little bit of notes that are left have depictions excuse me, of different slices of body parts, different kind of views, very medicinal, kind of medical in their attempt at artistic rendering. More science, less art. But you also notice that there's a couple of the margins have dick drawings. And it's a different handwriting than the actual notes are in, but there's also 3 kind of phrases that catch your eye attached to some of the dick drawings. One says, "Are the hours long?" And long is underlined. Under one of the other drawings, it says, "In thickness and in health," and thickness is underlined. And one of the other ones says, "All girth and no play," and girth is underlined. Very clearly someone that is 12 years old got their hands on this notebook,
Or was embraced at 12 years old.
but it looks like somebody was tasked with either holding on to it or reading it or doing something with it, because this screams of boredom. It screams of somebody that was not supposed to have this and was forced to hold on to it or something along those lines. Because even the dick drawings are in different colored pens. So like the notes are meticulously in black pen, but the dicks are blue ink, red ink. Some are in black ink. Some are a combination of like they started in blue and then got like veins added in red.
I like that they mixed it up. That's nice.
Yeah. There's a very artistic hand in this. Unlike
it's like a slow progression. They started off, basic, and then they started getting more. Yeah,
like the medical drawings are very scientific. They're clean lined. The dicks are freeform.
Are there stuff to write with here?
Not in the room. No.
Shit. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I ask you to, so obviously it seems like our Tzimisce friends are doing something here.
That's kind of an understatement. Will, you going down the hallway, there's other rooms and that kind of shit?
There are other rooms, yes.
All right.
Okay. Would you guys well, before we go, I have an idea.
Oh boy. Nothing bad
And
can come
I
from this.
rip one of the pages out. I go over to the thing I just blasted in the mouth.
The eye.
And I get
nothing sexual about that comment.
Yeah. Boy, you talked about long girths, so I thought I'd play along.
Thank you. I appreciate you going with me on this journey.
I get some of the blood. Is there blood from it? I'm assuming there's blood from it. And I write on the note, not in my city. Best regards, Wesley Ian Garter. And I put it on top of the creature.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Time to clean my gun.
I support this move. Who the fuck is Wesley Ian Garter?
Oh no! I like this a lot. I wipe the gun clean and I leave the gun.
Does Andreas you don't know who Wesley Ian Garter is?
No, Eric doesn't know who Wesley Ian Garter is.
He's the one that killed my sire, who owns the art gallery.
He is the Toreador Primogen.
Yeah, the guy that killed me. Yeah, fuck that guy. That's all you got to know is fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
So as you do that, I literally see that and I go, yeah, I've seen enough movies, and I just literally clean the gun that I had, and I use my shirt and I put it on top of the body, because that works.
Always. Nothing bad could happen.
I mean, they know that he got shot. No, you don't. No, I take the gun from you. No.
What?
No. Because what happens is we're going to plant this at the art gallery. Or at the restaurant that he owns across the street from the art gallery.
Okay.
So if they look into this further, remember, detective, when they look into this further, they can trace the gun to the person who used it.
Nice.
Okay. I like that idea.
So I go,
yeah,
no.
You take the gun. You take the gun. You take the gun.
Okay.
All right. Well, then I look at my claws with some relief then, because I'm like, I didn't even get a chance to use them, but no evidence.
Yeah.
I'm keeping them out till we leave the building now.
Understood.
I give you back the gun just in case there's more shit around.
No. I got another one.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
He's strapped.
God forbid I start using that to start shooting other things.
That's true. You don't want to contaminate the evidence. If you continue down, you'll notice the same thing. All the rooms have this kind of reclining chair, very metallic, very scientific. The same little table next to it. Except at the very last room, at the end of this hallway, you will notice that there is what looks to be a gentleman just kind of sitting in the chair. There's a leather strap, like a thick, maybe like hand width leather strap across his chest. There's the same kind of straps around his wrist and his legs, kind of keeping him in the chair. And there is what looks to be a woman feeding off of him. And then as you kind of come up to the window, you'll see her kind of rear back in ecstasy. The mouth is all red, and she just kind of sits there for a moment, just kind of licking her lips, and just savoring the meal.
I will back away from the view because I do not want to be seen the moment she just turns her head.
Locked?
Hmm?
Is the door locked that she's in?
It is not. No.
Can I lock it from the outside?
No. You don't. You don't have the key to
Well,
lock.
Nick,
Silence
I
of
like
death.
where your
She didn't
head's
even
at.
hear that.
Yeah.
I know where your head's at, but no, you don't have the keys for that. Just turn off the light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Well, if we're not gonna kill her, we should probably fade the fuck away. Otherwise, your whole planting the gun thing may not work.
The woman is unknown to Melvin and Erickson, but
Oh,
there is a familiarity to Andreas.
okay.
You've seen her before.
Is this a good familiarity, or is this like I need to run familiarity?
How enjoyable is it to be in the company of a Malkavian to you?
Totally depends on the Malkavian in question. I personally find it endearing.
Okay. You recognize her as a friend of your sire's. Her name is Eleanor Lucille Fulton.
Eleanor, okay. Now, as a not just a friend of my sire's, what are my experiences with her?
She has.
Like, do I know any particulars about her madness or anything I should know to try and not trip over?
She has been plagued with visions, and she hears voices that sometimes have manifested through her vocal cords. So there's a few times where it has sounded very guttural and more of like a male voice that comes through. But she's, from what you remember, she is salt of the earth, very well-to-do, kind of genuinely tries to be a good person, but is not afraid to become the monster that she knows she is. And you know that she's a scholar. She's a historian, and she has been kind of trying to find mentions of kindred society in like typical human history.
Okay, so sort of like nodist adjacent scholar.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you say? It was Eleanor. What was the middle and last name?
Eleanor Lucille Fulton.
Fulton.
So I take it. So I look at Andreas and I say it in a very soft voice. I'm like, so I take it we're not gonna kill her.
Smirk at him. You could try.
I'll take off Dawn, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need
It's
it
free.
anymore.
I can just go camera 1, camera 2, camera 1.
Camera one,
Camera
camera two.
Yeah. We don't need it anymore.
So, Will, she's visible now through one of the windows, the
Yeah.
doors. What's going on?
Yeah, the window,
Which window?
the viewplate, the kind of like square viewplate that lets you see into the room. Like you can see her. She's she has strapped down a gentleman into the chair.
Yeah.
It looks like his color is fading. And as you kind of watch her, she starts to clean herself up. She kind of looks in a reflective surface, just kind of a little compact that she has, and she starts to kind of clean herself up and just makes herself presentable. Has not noticed the three of you looking at her like creepers.
I when
yeah,
I
let me-
realize, so do I realize that he knows her?
Yeah,
Or
and
he's
I'm
like,
quietly going to wave the boys back a little bit because just for manners' sake, I'm going to let her finish cleaning her face before I start tapping on the glass.
Okay.
oh. So I turn back around and I go, let me pick up that note. This may not work out right now.
That's a good idea.
And that note, that Wesley Eating Garden note, may not work right now. We're having a house call with motherfuckers. So
Well,
I
actually, that's a fair point, but yeah.
No, let's not leave that.
But you notice
I
as
got some ideas.
she's putting on her lipstick, she catches your eye from the corner of her eye, and she just turns and just completely smears lipstick across her cheek, and she immediately lights up, rushes over, and the moment she slams the door open, you see that her face goes from this happy, kind of joyful image. Her eyes become straight black, her jaw goes slack, and you hear this voice without her lips moving that isn't hers entirely. There's hints of her voice in it, but it's mostly this deep male voice, and it says, "And I said to the dark-winged Uriel, not by God's mercy, but my own, will I live. I am what I am. I did what I did, and that will never change."
Oof.
And then her eyes come back, her smile returns, and she just looks at you. "Mr. Barker, it has been some years since we last met. Is Bartley with you?"
He's been hiding himself as of lately, but with the action going on in this town, I don't entirely blame him. How have you been, Eleanor?
She leans in and she kisses you on both cheeks. "I must say that I am better now to see a friendly face."
Indeed, I don't think I've ever seen you dining in quite such a capacity, though. What brings you here?
I've arrived recently. I've been trying to find out where the Elysiums are as far as the events go. I would like to be a good member of society and announce myself to the prince, as it were, but given the traditions. But I have neither found out who the primogen for my clan is, nor where the prince holds Elysium. So I've been at odds here. Do you have any idea where I can find both my targets?
Yes, sidebar, Will. Do the Malkavians have a primogen here? I think they did, right?
They did, and then you killed them.
They do.
We didn't kill them. Let's hold up now.
You were there when he was destroyed.
Yes,
but
we
that's not.
we were
But that
present.
body's not on us.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were present. However, we did not kill them physically.
You are
Yes.
muted,
that-
Jeff, by the way.
That's all I needed to know.
Sorry, I've just been saying everything.
Yeah.
I was in a car across town.
Mhm.
We's a lot of people that were involved in that murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Touche.
Yeah.
You're right.
Nobody in this room physically killed this primogen. Let's just
What
put it that.
murder?
Got it. I needed the short and sweet version.
Yeah.
Eleanor,
What murder?
as always,
What
lovely
murder?
to see you. But I do have some disturbing news about your primogen. He's unfortunately been murdered in recent days. So representation for the Malkavians is spotty at best.
Yeah. Who was responsible? Do we know? Was it you? And she kind of pats the top of your stomach. You little scamp, you.
No, my dear. You know I always take credit where credit's due. No, things have just been rather mad in this town. So again, I'm shocked to find you here. I mean, when did you start palling around with the Tzimisce?
Well, the situation in Seattle has become tenebrous, tumultuous, very unsafe for members of my clan, and so I've decided to come further south. It it was told to me that Portland would be a safe city, but there are unfortunately several weak links, as it were, since the Quasian have started to make their presence known there. And the rumor is that they've left this city, so I decided to see if there was a place for me here.
Well, we've certainly been trying to make it less hospitable to them in recent months. But yeah, as for Elysium, I can give you the location for Elysium, but how long is it? Will, another sidebar. How long is it until the next one, or until the next gathering?
The next Elysium is New Year's Eve party.
Okay. So then, yeah. So with the address, I give her with the location of Elysium, I also let her know when the next official meeting is. Although, of course, in the meanwhile, I mean, visiting there or presenting yourself to any of the powers that be is entirely up to you.
Oh.
Well, as my sire taught me, discretion is the better part of valor. So if no one asks me, I haven't seen you.
I was not aware that the situation was that dire here in the city.
It's not dire so much as it's been, well, stirred up. I think factions are sensing a power vacuum and trying to move in from all sides.
Oh my. And she finally notices, like, the other two figures, and she goes, how rude of me. Gentlemen, please, my name is Eleanor Lucille Fulton. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am an associate of Mr. Barker and his sire.
Ah.
Yeah.
I reach out my hand to shake hers.
He takes it.
Erickson Wood. It's a pleasure, Eleanor, to meet you. And I look over to the side. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. I walk over and I extend my hand.
Yeah, she takes it as well.
But I just say Melvin Wright.
Yeah, nice to meet
Pleasure
you.
to meet you.
Do you boys
Any
need
friends?
anything? I apologize. I seem to have finished off my meal, but I'm sure the gentleman at the front can arrange something for you.
I think
No,
we had our fill.
I went to a La Vaquita and I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's for the Miami folks.
Yep.
Hey.
But I say we're no we've eaten. But yeah,
Excellent.
just curious, Miss Eleanor. Andreas, he did ask, just out of curiosity, your interactions with the Tzimisce here.
Yeah, do
What?
they control this whole facility?
No. This was one of the Malkavian Primogens facilities.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I was given some information while I was in Portland as far as safe places that I could go to should I require sustenance on my journeys. I was hoping that I would bump into someone, and here I have.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Well,
bumped.
Well, wonders never cease. Oh, I've been terribly remiss. It's been such a long time. Looking back down the hallway towards that Slachta thing that we murdered a little while ago.
Yep.
None of that whole scene is visible out in the hall, is it?
No, because the room is far enough into its hallway that you would have to go down a ways to kind of make your way back towards the front to actually see any of the atrocity that you've created on it.
Okay.
But even then, it died in the doorway, so it slumped all the way back into the room. And even any of its expulsion of its juices, it has spread into the room, not out from it.
So what
you're
saying is that if we close the door, it'll be just as though nothing
Yeah,
is going on.
you would have to push it a bit to close the door,
Mhm.
but you could close the door again.
Well, I mean, while you're having that conversation, well, guys, I guess I look over at Melvin. I go, well, if anything, I guess we'll meet you outside then, Andreas, unless we're all going out.
No, absolutely. Let me catch up with Eleanor for a moment.
I would have to tell the gentleman at the front that I'm done with my meal and I require cleanup.
Back it up.
Yep.
Back it up.
Yep.
I start kicking the monstrosity back into the room.
Yeah, it's just leave the note.
Like, slowly,
Leave the
like,
note.
no, I'm not gonna leave the note because now I know it's a Malkavian thing. It's not Tzimisce.
Well, no, it's still that's still a Tzimisce type thing.
Yeah.
It's a craft that's kind of hard to replicate.
Yep. Do be facts.
Yeah. So Eleanor, if this was the a local Malkavian one of the Malkavian primogens places,
Mhm.
what was with that monstrosity down the hall?
What monstrosity?
Oh, don't worry about it then.
Understood.
Bro, you had to pull it. You had to pull an Erickson. I swear to God.
I tend not to look around too much. I've learned that the less I see, the better off I stay alive, or unalive, as it were, for us. And I also had to entertain the gentleman that I was going to feed on. He was rather inquisitive, and I had to apply some of my more womanly charms to keep him where I needed him to be.
Womanly charms and 3 feet of leather, but that's what I love about you.
Well, my leather days are a little bit behind me. I haven't used that in a while.
I fixed my biker colors. Well, mine are certainly coming to a middle.
I was gonna say I haven't seen you outside of uniform in some time.
Well,
You're not fighting the good fight anymore?
Oh, I'm always fighting the good fight, but you trade one uniform for another. Turning around, showing off the colors, it's rudeness and chaos to the rest of the world, but we recognize the ranks.
Understood.
Mm-hmm. Besides, after all that we had to deal with over in Europe, I needed freedom for a few decades, and Bartley fortunately understood me.
It was good.
That's why that's why we haven't been traveling too much as of late. But also, I'm sure you've heard of the things going on with my clan in particular. So yeah.
And she snakes her arm around your elbow and takes it very much like a old-timey chaperone.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of just pats you on the bicep. Well, I look forward to hearing all about your misadventures in the time that we have not seen each other.
Mm-hmm.
I can only assume that you've been up to no good since you've been back home.
I've been to absolutely no good. And I guess this place has become more of a home lately. Longest I've stayed in any one place safely, anyhow.
As you get to the front, she does kind of thank the guard, and she gives him a hug and tells him, that she does need to clean up in her room. And he gives you a look when he sees you come out with her, but he just nods, understood, and he grabs his walkie-talkie, and you hear him call for a cleanup.
And so it's a good thing we didn't leave that note.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Well, look at us rushing to get the fuck out.
Yep. Time to hit the old dusty trail.
But yeah, you guys are outside by the car.
And is she? Oh, she's still with us, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, getting rid of a Malky, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
Hey.
So other than using this as a feeding station, do you have anywhere to stay?
No. I've been bouncing around from establishment to establishment.
It's a shame. And I get in the car.
Yeah, I know. I'm like literally behind her, looking at you, going, "No,
Real sad.
It's a shame. Damn shame.
it's a damn shame." I heard there might be, a hotel over in Kaiser, and then we just get in the car.
You are in
Yeah.
There's a
Kaiser.
hotel at get the fuck out of here, Berg. Just go right, make a right at the highway, and get the fuck out of my life.
Actually, could I perhaps arrange a pickup for? I mean, how close to dawn is it, by the way?
Oh, by this point, it's only about 2:30, 2:45. Nowhere near 3:00 yet.
Okay. Wherever I'd set up to have Shepherd at earlier,
Mhm.
I mean, granted, it's a little less of a concern for me sleeping these days, but nonetheless, I give her the location of where to find our particular truck if she needs a haven in an emergency. He's currently parked there for safety's sake.
Worst case scenario, I can find myself a cab then. I did want to go to one of the establishments that I was told to peruse. I believe it's a bar called the Albatross. Have you been there?
Meaningful look.
Sir, look away.
Backing up into the car.
This isn't where. Oh, this isn't my car. And I go and I just
Wrong.
break into another vehicle. I just punch the window.
We're just
Here she is.
we're doing
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto as this guy's
Yeah,
fucking trying to get rid of
This isn't my car. Just twisting the wires together. And yeah.
Finicky old broad.
I'll say so. Another quick aside. What did we do? What did we do to the Albatross? Is that one? Did I do what I think?
You haven't
Oh,
done
No, we
anything
didn't do
to it.
anything. We didn't do
Uh-huh.
anything to the
The
Albatross.
Albatross is owned by Marcus Bradley.
Oh, okay.
One of the few places
That's-
you haven't burnt down.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
that's where we met Grant Reynolds. Had a nice little conversation with
Right.
him.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's where Samantha Crushing is working out of
Yeah.
currently.
correct. Yeah, that old chestnut.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, it's okay. So we have been to the Albatross a fair bit lately. I tell Eleanor this, and
It's been a few weeks.
if she'd like, we can call her a cab to get her over there. But we gotta.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
I would
Bless
want to
you.
presume. Yeah, Gesundheit. I would want to presume inviting you to join me for an evening. Of course. I know that you have things to do.
I look at you. I'm like, we could go to the Albatross.
Yeah, might as.
Well,
But you don't hear anything because Erickson still has a silence of death on.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
yeah, we could.
I'm assuming once we left the
Conversations
building, the
happened.
scene was over for that.
Yeah, none of this
Yeah.
conversations happened, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody
Rob's
heard
like-
anything.
Well, just
yeah,
by
we're
the,
just there yelling back and forth.
I was like
Is
going
that
by
not
this,
my
going
car?
by the strange, meaningful glances from my compatriots here. I should either steal third, or we should all go to the Albatross.
Oh, excellent.
I open the door for her and I go, after you, ma'am.
You are very kind. I appreciate it. And she slides in.
Andres and Eleanor. Andres and Eleanor.
Well, I go ahead and I sit in the back seat so I can let Andres drive with her in shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
I sit on the front seat on top of her in shotgun.
Excellent.
No, I'm just kidding. No.
This game has
Malky.
this game
Shit
has
might make
taken a
sense.
turn.
Yep.
Game
It
has
might,
taken a
it might
turn.
make sense there.
That's true.
But you do notice that she has not brought up the outburst that she had when she came out of the room
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form.
Well, from what I know about her, this has always been the case. Like, has she ever been aware of those things?
No.
Or
It has always been something that had needed to be brought up to her, and every single time that it's been brought up, she's always denied ever saying it. And unless it is something that has taken time away from her, brief moments like that, she just attributes to loss of train of thought.
Okay. And yeah, being a Malkavian, it's
She has 18 browsers open, and she doesn't know where the music is coming from.
if we're driving and it's like awkward silence and nobody's saying anything, I just I just look down. I'm just looking outside. I just go, so Uriel, kind of a thing, huh?
She looks back. What do you mean? I don't follow.
Oh, I just heard the name Uriel recently, and
No,
from from your mouth
from my mouth.
when you did the weird demon face thing.
Oh, I don't. No, that
The black
have-
eyes,
no,
the very white voice. Don't remember?
no.
No.
And she kind of grabs Andreas's hand. And she's like, "Did I have an episode, Andy?"
Very brief one when we first laid eyes on each other.
Oh, I apologize for that. And she turns back to the two of you in the back. I have no control over that. I apologize. Do you have an idea what I said?
Absolutely. You said, I am what I am, I did what I did, and that will never change. That was the end part of it. That was...
Yeah, and you said Uriel. You mentioned
Uriel?
Uriel.
That was,
Right.
and Cain, I'm getting it back again. And Cain said unto Uriel,
Mhm.
oh, damn it.
No, that's not a Bible excerpt.
I know it's
No.
the book of. I know it's the book of Nod, but it's
Yeah.
like I'm trying
It's Book of Nod.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like as Erickson
That it's the book of
Erickson
Nod.
hears that and he's like, I know the names that are brought up, but I can tell that's not a Bible verse, nor is it any passage in the Bible. So it's got to be coming from, some other teaching, some other scripture.
Was it?
I mean, it sounds like the tribulations that were visited on Cain in the Book of Nod.
I believe the third one. The third one, if Bartley's old lessons hold.
So you're into the that book of Nod too.
Oh yeah, it is holy scripture for our kind. You've heard of it.
As close as we get.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot more tonight than I ever thought I would about it. Yeah.
Tonight.
Is it the same night, Will?
It is the same night.
Yeah. The same night.
Same night.
Have you had contact with Anatole by any chance then?
Anatole. Will, have I ever met him before?
You've heard of him, but you've never.
I know.
Had
Yeah, I was like,
pleasure.
I know exactly who the fuck he is.
Yeah, you know.
But,
you know.
Okay.
No.
I know. But Andreas has never met him personally.
No, not personally, but you've heard of him.
Yeah.
No, but I used to run in circles with and you see, and I get it. A good friend of mine who was really into the whole Atlantis thing. Seems that
Atlantis is child's play compared to Enoch and the Book of Nod. This predates humanity, if you are to believe the Bible. Are you God-fearing, Megan?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I used to be.
I don't know, Erickson. I think, as I recall, Jesus makes you jump.
Let's just say that my relationship with God has died when I died.
Several people have had that coming to God moment, as it were.
Well, better to come to Jesus moment than a come on Jesus moment.
This is true.
This is true.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see where her sensibilities are still at. This is Malkavian. Malkavians are a rare opportunity for me. It's like I get to figure out who you are.
Yeah. And given the construction of robes in that time period, how do you even get semen out of that?
Carefully and with lots of sand, I would think.
One would think.
I
mean, you see her like space out.
Okay.
You're not sure, but you
Lydia.
definitely think that she is picturing some old, like, one of the disciples just trying to remove semen stains from his robe.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we go to that strip club, the Burning Bush.
First commandment is there will be no sex in the champagne room.
Yeah.
30 pieces of silver for a bottle of Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's a lot.
That's the Judas bottle service.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take you more than 20 minutes to get down to the Albatross. When you pull up, you can see that it's already like starting to wind down. Marcus is behind the bar, and when he sees you, you see him kind of muster up that host energy. It looks like he was kind of ready to close up shop, but the moment he sees you guys, he's just like, "All right, gentlemen, it's been a while since I've seen your faces here before. What do I owe
Bradley?
the honor and pleasure of this visit?"
Entirely social. We've run into an old friend of mine and my sire's, and she was curious as to some locations in town.
Oh,
So being the good tour guide.
I appreciate that. They introduce each other to themselves, and he looks over at the three of you. Oh, didn't plan on seeing you, considering what I heard about you throwing your lot in with Otis on the other side of the bridge.
Well, tourism, politics. Don't need to show ourselves too long around here, but Eleanor, I couldn't leave. We couldn't leave her stranded.
And she leans in. She's like, "Andreas, who is Otis?"
One of the local then, true.
Oh,
He's a king, baby. He's a king.
He's the king.
King of his own making, at least on paper.
Yeah.
oh, interesting. But Marcus kind of looks at the three of you, and then he focuses on Erickson. Do you need me to get Samantha, or is this a social visit for me? Because the last couple times you three have been here, it's always been for something with her.
Actually, I haven't spoken with her in quite a while. If she's available, I would be happy to speak with her.
Oh, you know how to get down there.
Gentlemen?
Erickson? Well, Eleanor, is there anything else we could do for you while we're here?
Oh no, Mr. Barker, you've done more than enough. I appreciate this wholeheartedly.
Absolutely lovely. Then, if give her the number for a few of the free souls in case she needs a ride anywhere. It's quicker than frankly, it's quicker than a cab if you tell them I sent you.
Oh, I have found myself enjoying the freedom that comes from a motorcycle ride, so I should think that I'll be using this very often.
I would appreciate very much if you don't feed on them on a regular basis unless absolutely necessary. And in terms of the bikers in this town, if you see another group known as the Devil's Disciples, you really should avoid them just for your own safety.
Understood. Is this trouble of your design, or is this?
No, this is more like Red Riding Hood's trouble. There's a big bad wolf about,
Oh,
and they tend to lead it to that problem.
and at that you hear Marcus kind of lean in. Are you telling me that the disciples have lupines in their ranks?
We would think they either have that or they have shape-shifting dogs.
Ah, damn it! I had a couple of them in here tonight. I don't need that
Well,
kind of heat.
Well, I'm not sure if it's all of them, but nonetheless, just gotta watch it.
Whoa, question.
Yeah.
What is the role for me to lie to somebody? Subterfuge, right?
It would be subterfuge, yes, and either charisma or manipulation, depending on how you're going to spin the lie.
God damn it, my shit's low.
Yeah. You're a stand-up guy. You would never lie to
Yeah.
people in their face.
You need somebody like me, sir.
Yeah. Who do you want to lie to?
Marcus. About something.
Ooh. Okay. It will break his heart if he ever found out you were lying to him in his face.
Hmm. Uh,
Ah,
I've all right. Fuck it. I said I've heard rumblings that somebody in the tower might be working with the devil's disciples.
In the tower.
It's just been rumblings.
Um, I mean, who would have told you this, Mister Wright? So I know what angle to take with you, because I haven't heard such shaking going on.
I mean, who's the information finders? Well, which is the clan that gets all the information?
I mean, I would have easily have said your clan, Mister Wright, but
Right.
you're also now working for the enemy, as it were.
I've been nothing but cordial.
Oh, and
I'm
I
just,
and I've been cordial back, I assume.
yeah, yeah. I'm just, I what kind of Nosferatu would I be if I revealed my sources to folks? I've just, you hear rumblings in the street, and it's no coincidence. They came into the bar tonight. Maybe they were looking for somebody. Not saying you, not saying Samantha, but maybe they were supposed to meet with somebody here.
Excuse me.
You see them going to the other side of the bridge.
They have not. They've been sticking mostly to the city proper. But I also assume that's because Mr. Barker's gentlemen friends are wholeheartedly holed up in West Salem.
I could play a role in it, but if and I look at Andreas, I go, I know no bikers. I don't really care who's where or what's going on. They'll go right to wherever they want to go.
That is the hard-headed motto of my peoples.
Um, I would just say keep an eye out, Mr. Bradley.
All right. I will
There
gladly
may be more to meets the eye.
I'll gladly throw out some line and some bait and see what bites.
You do that. Will, is there any kind of like paper or stationery or anything like some kind of thing from that has the bar's information on it?
Oh, of course. There's matchbooks.
Okay. Um, I move away, and while they're talking, I pocket some matchbooks.
Okay. Are you being sneaky about it, or are you just kind of just taking
Yes.
them?
Yes. No. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna draw attention to myself. I'll just grab the matchbook, look at it, and I pocket it.
Okay. Yeah, he tells you, I haven't heard anything as far as those rumblings that have made their way into your ear have come about in this part of the city, at least. But given the circumstances that Hyde seems to exist these days in, if I hear anything, it's a godsend. Half the time, anything that I'm tasked for is brought to me by Green. You know,
Mr. Bradley, how do you feel about all this that's going on?
there's a lot going on in the city, Mister Wright. You're gonna have to be a little bit more peculiar about your wording.
I mean, I mean, I think the lupines and you know those kind of things we can agree is we're on the same page in that situation. Obviously, there's discrepancies in our thoughts on the tower and versus Mr. King. Uh, that's
I
what I was referring to more so.
I have no ill will towards Otis King and what he is doing.
How do you feel about what Mr. Hyde's doing?
Well, Mr. Hyde is the prince of the city, right? And while I am at the mercy of the prince as far as my continued existence is concerned, I have to say that he is in the right. This is his city. It is given authority to destroy anyone in it that opposes him.
Doesn't sound like you're following him because you want to. You're following him because you feel you need to.
Mr. Wright, do you know anything about Thin-Blood as the tower is concerned? And you see him start to
Fortunately, I do.
unbutton his shirt.
I say I do.
I don't know how familiar you are with their practices, and because I've heard about your connection to Thin Bloods, as it were. And he takes off his shirt, and on the back, you see this raised skin of a burnt scar that looks like it's always on the verge of healing, but never healing, of the Camarilla's Ankh just on his left shoulder. This is the brand that was given to me by Geraldine Birmingham and the previous Tremere Primogen when I was discovered.
Did I know he was a Thin Blood?
Yeah, he's never hidden that.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Same brand was burned into my adopted childer's flesh when she was introduced, because it was the one thing that I could offer so that she wouldn't be destroyed when Prince Hyde discovered her as well. Her brand was given by a new Tremere Primogen, Mr. Thompson. Each brand comes with a leash, as it were. That's how we're summoned. That's how we know our presence is demanded. And the longer we take, the
is
more
this tied
it
directly
hurts.
to the prince? Is this tied directly to the prince or to the Tremere who did it?
The prince.
So
I'm not there. Sorry.
if somebody were to able to get that removed, would it change your allegiances?
Wholeheartedly, yeah.
How many of you are there?
2.
No, but I mean, do you run? You don't run with the rest of the other Thin Bloods?
Mr. Wright, there are no other Thin Bloods. It is me and Lillian
Oh,
in the city. That's all that's allowed.
no, I'm about to drop some motherfucking knowledge. I go, actually, there's an army of them. My daughter was one of them.
Mr. Wright, that's a dangerous statement that you are making. And you see him putting on his shirt again.
Bro, why is everybody becoming Erickson all of a sudden? Jesus Christ.
Everybody,
I say,
information for free, baby.
hey,
It's
not
cheeseburger day.
information
Cheeseburger day.
here's the difference between what I'm doing and what you do. I'm trying to get some more new people to our side.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some new people to our side
Yeah,
because I'm pulling the wool out from under them, out of their eyes,
straight up.
because they thought they were just the only ones.
No.
My daughter was killed and was turned into, I can't even say one of us, because
I
what she
apologize for
became.
that, Mr. Wright. No one should have this forced upon them. Especially we are different, you and I. The 3 of you are actual vampires. And although I drink blood for my continued existence, although I can eat and drink food and liquor, and I can enjoy the touch of the sun, it is still an unpleasant existence. And I have not been allowed to do anything about it. because of the way the tower treats our kind.
I think you might have misspoke at the beginning of our conversation, Mr. Bradley. You said I was the enemy. Seems like we're actually on the same side.
I never claimed you were my enemy, Mr. Wright. I said that given everything that I've heard, you have chosen to side with the enemy.
But not yours.
Not mine.
Well, Mr. Bradley, we've always had a amicable relationship. So if there's a way that we can figure something out for you and your child, or we'll do what we can.
That would require knowing a very powerful Tremere and having access to whatever leash was created when the brand was put to skin. Even I don't know what the leash was when Miss Birmingham had me mercifully allowed to exist in her city.
I will tell you this. Never say never for anything. I thought I was gonna never get to see my family again. Mind you, it was under strange circumstances when I was beaten to death in that alley in the 1930s. But here I am, a little less pretty, and I smirk.
You got at least a
But
decade
here,
on me, Mr. Wright, so
and again, I'm here. I'm here nonetheless.
I got a ways to catch up to you.
I take the matchbook out and I put it back on the thing, and I go, you're a good man, Mr. Bradley.
I just understand my role in this whole opera, as it were, Mr. Wright.
I feel you're destined for greater things than you even realize right now.
We'll
And I
see.
extend my hand out to him,
He shakes it.
and I shake it.
You've been a cordial man, Mr. Wright, every time that we've seen each other. So, and I appreciate that you don't bring any Sabbat Templars into my bar anymore, since that used to be your MO, apparently.
We weren't expecting the Templar that time, were we?
No.
Yeah.
No. And then I nod and I tell Andreas, I'm like, I'm going to stand outside and keep watch because we are in. And I look back and I just smirk enemy territory.
Yeah. But he continues going about his closing duties. Downstairs, we see Erickson descend into the basement. Sam looks up. Excuse me, from the work that she's doing, and she just kind of drops her head. Oh my god! I thought I was done with you.
What?
What fresh hell is this?
Yeah, it's just, you know, that's a very, very odd way of saying hi to one of your only friends.
You only show up when you want something. So what is it that you want? Let's cut to the chase, and let's not beat around the bush.
I heavy sigh. I just go and I sit down and I just say, Sam, how long have we known each other?
Too long, if you ask me. Is this not? Are you asking me to end your suffering? Is this what the visit is about?
No, not at all.
'Cause you look worse for wear.
I look at the actual like wound.
Yeah.
But is it healed up completely, or is it just in the process still?
It is better than it was in the evening when you woke up. It now is like a divot. There's a little cave in of a valley where the knife kind of plunged into your skin.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the wound, that's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
It's healed, but there's gonna be a remnant there.
Yeah, I mean, considering the way I live my life, my unlife, I'm surprised that it's taken this long for me to get one of these.
Yeah, well, Liz would be proud of you, I guess.
that's what I wanted to come to you about. I mean, look, I know it's been a while since me and my coterie have been here, and I know that things have happened with our clan, with our group, and in fact, I'm really just wanting to know first and foremost if you're safe, Sam.
I mean, yeah. We had some bikers come in tonight from those disciples, but they didn't get too out of hand. Haven't had really anything crazy the last couple of weeks, but it is the holidays. This time of year, everything kind of quiets down.
What have you heard about me and my coterie lately?
Oh, I mean, who hasn't heard that you're part of Otis's crew?
Yeah. And
they're fucking telling everybody.
I don't. Well, you tell one K-Knight. That's it. Just one K-Knight.
Everybody knows.
Just spreads like wildfire.
And nobody's ever heard of secrets in this motherfucker?
Apparently not, man. Even Kane wrote that shit down.
But Sam, the thing is that besides what's going on with us, I mean, there's got to be something that you're hearing about what's going on with Grant Reynolds and Otis.
Oh, I mean, like, I heard that the Sabbat is back in a big presence. At least as far as, like, what's her name is concerned. And I'm glad that it fucked off to Seattle, because I did not want to have to worry about looking over my shoulder every time that I thought some fucking old vampire bat was about to descend on me like some Bram Stoker's fucking nightmare.
Are you talking about what's? I'm just like, I think I've heard it around Vikos.
Yeah,
Vikos?
Yeah, Sasha Vikos.
Wait, did she show up here?
I mean, yeah.
No.
I'm surprised that you didn't hear about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't hear about it either. I'm just saying another.
Fucking force of nature, that one.
No, I mean, what Tzimisce is, from what I gathered. I heard rumblings of it. I mean, remember, I was out of town for a little bit before I came back. A lot has changed.
Portland.
Yep.
I only assume that you're responsible for the Kuei Jin fucking off to Portland.
I wish I could take credit for that.
Okay.
I wish I could take credit for that.
Just like I wish I could take credit for the Mona Lisa. I get you.
But really, what I want to find out is, has there been any movement here? I know that you guys are trying to keep out of the. You're trying to you guys are with the tower, so to speak. Correct.
It's the safest place to be.
Do you really believe that that's the safest place to be?
Yeah. I mean, Reynolds would have been an interesting Baron. But after what Vikos declared, like there's no way that he's not on some war path.
Wait, what did Vikos declare?
He's a Templar.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Templar in charge of protecting the bishop of the city.
And you said that the Templar are a bigger presence now. Do you know? Have you heard where they would be at?
The Sabbat, they're in the north part of town. They're up in Kaiser, from what I understand. Yeah, they've got a fucking standing army as far as the disciples are concerned too. So they've got fodder.
Okay, but Look, I know I'm asking a lot by even talking about this with you, Sam, but uh, where in Kaiser?
I don't know. I don't go up that north. Excuse me. That's a no man's land compared from what Hyde declared
Yeah, Hyde.
after the fucking Malkavian primogen was taken out. Nobody goes to Kaiser.
And Hyde's just what? I guess held up in his fortress then.
Oh, Hyde doesn't have a fortress. Hyde's a fucking Ravnos as far as everyone's concerned. Like he just rolls around the rest of the city. He doesn't hold meetings in the same place twice.
Except for the Elysium that we're gonna have at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a fucking miracle from what I understand.
Look, I know I asked you before, and I gave the description again of that Bruja that was in those tapes that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
You have not run into anything or anyone that would be in this description at all?
Not really. I tend to hunt around here. If anything, Marcus kind of lets me use the bar patrons as long as I'm careful about it. And you know, this is a good thing as far as the two of us are concerned because he can go and fuck off with whoever he wants to feed on for the day. And I've got a safe kind of haven down here. And he comes and goes as he wants. Because that motherfucker can walk around in the daylight. So.
Look, I mean, all I'm saying is that if the next time you happen to see, for instance, those bikers come back in, or if you happen to see anybody from, like, if you see anything that is strange to the point that could be causing a problem here again, and like, for instance, somebody that's not Otis that just happens to try to wreck this place, I give him the number to the apartments, that we're at.
Okay, he takes it. You actually have a base of operations again?
For now. Hopefully I could be able to get the last call again.
Okay,
But
okay.
that is yeah. That's I know. I'm at this point I'm just masticating. I'm just moving my mouth. So I'm not gonna hold you any longer, but
right.
If you ever need me, you have this number.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that you found the place that'll accept your fucking wild streak. What's the over under on you setting this place on fire?
I mean, if there's a bet going on, please let me know because I want to get in on it.
Okay. I mean, you know about insider trading, right? Like that's
right, and that's gonna stop us as. I mean, I'm already dead.
I'm just saying, like it doesn't behoove you to bet on a date so that you can set yourself as a winner. This isn't a horse race.
Who says that I'm gonna set that date? And then I point at you. I'm like, all right. But I also take out about 1,000. Yeah, about 1,000 that I had in the from the money that I have, and I leave it to her. I go, look, you're well overdue, so I wanted to at least give this to you before I go.
Oh, here, I'd almost given up on getting anything from you. Never again. What a Christmas miracle.
Is it almost Christmas, really? But take care, Sam. I'll be talking to you soon.
You too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go back upstairs. You see that Marcus is cleaning up. The other two are outside.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus, thanks again for the lovely hospitality.
And you see that he's kind of cleaning up and talking to Eleanor. And she kind of waves as you walk by.
Mhm.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Mr. Wood.
Pleasure's all mine, Eleanor. I take her
All
hand
right,
to shake.
Lord Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
But the three
Yeah,
of you
and-
are outside now.
Mm.
Yeah, it changed my mind on what I was gonna do.
Mm.
What
Yeah.
were you gonna do?
Um,
Wait, don't tell me. I look around. I go, you weren't gonna set this place on fire, were you?
no,
Not
no,
tonight.
but I was gonna. I got an idea, and I was gonna. Before I realized that he's just as much a slave as everybody else is to Hyde, I was gonna implicate him and this place in it.
Yeah, I mean,
That wouldn't have been too hard.
yeah, I mean, considering my conversation with Sam, I feel
And
like
I go to the car. I go,
Yeah. I'm assuming that you are walking and talking.
yeah, walking to the
Yes.
car. Yeah,
And the big
Correct.
news is going to be taking place inside the doors closed.
Yes.
factual,
yeah. Actually,
with silence of death on, and we're doing hand signals.
hmm
Yeah.
Just jerking each other off.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got all the information. Perfect.
Yeah.
Uh,
The speed and like gyration tells you the information that you're passing along. I get
Correct.
it. I get
It's
it.
like
I
Morse
understand.
code.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
beep 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 beep
Yeah.
beep. Start tapping on the head.
I came up with an idea, and I don't
Ball
know
tickling
what
is
you
the
guys
space
think.
bar.
Yeah. What if we, rather than coming at them head on, say a little guerrilla warfare?
I look at Andreas. I'm like, I mean, I imagine you would be fine with that.
I'm absolutely fine with that. Just because I have a death wish doesn't mean I want it to be today.
So here's what I'm thinking. Eventually, I want to get my hands dirty with those sons of bitches, but death's going to be too good for them right up front. Why not make it a little fun?
Okay.
What I'm thinking is we send a note from one Wesleyan Garter to the motel in Kaiser, asking for a meeting that would be mutually beneficial to both parties and assist in a power vacuum. What would given the power vacuum? Make it sound like he's trying to take over Hyde's spot. And if somebody were to leak information to Hyde,
He'd hear it immediately, man. Everybody in this fucking town.
but
Apparently,
if somebody
got
were
one K-night.
yeah, if somebody were to leak information to Hyde that there was a meeting, because we could set the time and the place and the letter, and then now there's a confusion and lack of trust within the tower, more so now.
Yeah.
How do you propose delivering this message, this note?
Well, I mean, I'm sure we could find somebody on the street. You pay them money and tell them that all they got to do is deliver this message, or courier service.
I like this plan. Simple yet effective.
The only thing that I'm worried about is whether or not they would figure out if just get a random note out of the blue from a courier service. Is that something that you think Wesley Ian Garter would do?
I mean, if I'm somebody that's trying to go behind the tower and be as subtle as possible, I'm not going to use the tower's messenger service to send that message. So why not hire just some random company, third party company? This is Salem. You know how many people ride bikes around here? You know how many people are just messengers? There's tons of people that you could just hire anybody, and we could find a homeless person and tell them, here's $500. There's another 500 in it for you if you deliver it. Once you deliver this message, they're never going to see us again.
Well, you know what? We got nothing to lose at this point. I'm down for that. Let's find a homeless person.
I just think we don't have as big an army as they do. And if we can put two of our problems against each other, it may not be a bad thing.
Hmm.
And if it weakens the defenses around Mr. Gardner for me, I'm not gonna miss that opportunity.
Copy that.
I'm just trying to think
Yeah.
outside the box a little bit here.
Okay. When do you want to set this time? When are you thinking to set this up?
Well, I mean, we can. It's late, all right. Late enough as it is. I don't think there's going to be a courier service open right now.
Yeah, no,
But
this requires a little forethought and planning before we
Yeah.
before we go sending that off anyway.
yeah, my thought process is once we decided we just have one of the free souls in civilian gear walk into a random messenger service during the day and ask that it be delivered that evening.
Can be done. At least one level of separation from us and them. All right.
Or we have the free soul find again in civilian attire, find a homeless person. Like I said,
Enough of my boys are passing in and out of Salem. It shouldn't be a problem.
okay. Oh yeah, it was just a thought.
Yeah, it's good. He's hiring a courier service, so he'll even be out of danger.
Now the question is, where are we going to have the meetup?
Oh, at the art gallery. Where else?
Hmm?
He's a showboat. Unless you want to make it a little more subtle, and we can pick a location so that it makes it seem like it's even more under wraps. Because him doing it at the art gallery is probably going to be a little too on the nose.
Yeah, especially for like if he's bothering to go about with a courier service, why suddenly drop it at your home base anyway? So we'll have to pick somewhere else.
And we can send a letter from that side as well to him.
True.
Okay.
You give that from what I saw in that man's basement, he likes subjugating people.
Yeah.
So if we give him an opportunity of more power, he's going to bite. Unintended.
Now, what would happen if Mr. Gardner finds out that not we, but that somebody set up this meeting in his name?
And he can come find me.
Okay. So at least one of us does have a death wish. That's cool. Yeah.
He had a death wish the moment he killed my sire.
Yeah. Enough said.
Just like those 3 pieces of shit that had made a death wish when they turned my little girl.
Well, if we can't get to those 3, we can get to 1 at least. Yeah, I mean, we need to plan this out. We need to find a location, a place that is to our advantage, and we're gonna need more than just us 3 in case something gets hairy. Because
And if nothing else, we'll need a place that's flammable.
yep.
Actually, I just thought of something else we could do.
Oh no, we're gonna set it on fire if they walk in.
No. We could do that first option, or the second option is we figure out some way to get Mr. Gardner out of the art studio, plant some kind of evidence in there, linking him towards plans to take over, and again give a anonymous tip
Well, we could
to
do
the
a
tower.
combination. We could do a combination of these things. I mean, set up a little extra evidence, but then try and set up one of these meetings and just make it look as bad as possible for them.
Real
We've done
quick.
a lot of lighting things on fire, and I think subtlety might give us an edge now.
Now.
They
Now,
won't expect it. Let's be think about it. We've established that we are a physical bunch.
Hmm.
If we can do some kind of subterfuge against them
hmm
and do something from something completely unexpected from the reputation that the three of us have, they're not going to see it coming.
That's true. Hey, Will, have I ever heard Wesley Ian Garter speak before?
Maybe once.
what
What?
clan is Garter in again?
Toreador.
Toreador. And the boons that I currently have, one is with Gangrel, one is with Morrison.
Morrison is a Toreador.
Oh, he said Morrissey for a second. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's a fucking Torador.
Yeah, he is.
Right.
I mean, I actually pull out the boon from Morrison. I go, well, look. I mean, worst case, I don't know how feasible this would be to use this to set up a meeting with Garter. She can deliver the message.
Yeah. But then you're tying this message directly to us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you already want him to. Well, that's true.
Yeah, we need to have some. We need to have some little bit of separation. Hey, well, goofing off. Could I try and imitate Garter's voice using chemistry on my own voice?
I would have to read the rules of chemistry.
All right, food for thought for
Yeah.
later then.
Yeah, but I'll make a note to look at that.
Okay. You would
Did you have
assume
fun
that's
with Samantha?
I'm sorry.
Did you have fun with Sam?
Well, honestly, I think he feels that she's in the safest spot that she's in right now with Marcus. So, I honestly think that unless we do something ourselves, no one, at least from the Albatross, is willing to help us, or at least make it look like they're helping us. Put it that way. I mean, the only thing I found out is what we already know, which is the Sabbat are in Kaiser. And there's nothing more I can get. However, I did give her my information so that if she does come up with something, or if she does find something, she can always contact us over at the apartments. But
You did verify that that Reynolds is a Templar and that he is protecting the bishop.
okay,
So there is a bishop in place. That's been verified.
oh, okay. I thought we already knew that. I don't know why.
There are rumors of a bishop, but as far as like
okay.
there being a solidified, like the only thing that you don't know is who the bishop is now.
Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
Then yes, I do know something. Apparently Reynolds is acting as a Templar, and as a Templar, he is protecting the bishop that is in Salem. So there is, in fact, somebody that he's following orders from. However, that's the most information that I got out of it. I imagine Marcus was probably going to be tight-lipped about that as well. So the only, I don't know, I don't know who we can give that information to or who we can reach out to that can find that information. But considering, and I look over at Melvin, I go, considering that you guys work under information, I imagine somebody in your clan would know at least something of this bishop.
I can spread the word over to them to see if anybody's heard anything.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, right now the best lead is to try to get Garter out in the open.
He's the first step.
I thumbed through the ledger,
Mhm.
and I write into the address, like as far as for where we've been at so far.
Yep.
And as far as for the next address, in fact, we're in the car, right?
Mhm.
Wherever we stop at, I'm gonna grab a phone book.
I'm
The yellow
assuming you're
pages?
going back to the tower, to the apartment.
Yeah, to the apartments. So when we get back to the apartments, I want to grab the yellow pages and actually cross-reference those addresses to, as far, that way I can at least get an idea of where these places are
It'll,
instead of us just happen to walk into
Yeah.
it blind.
it'll take you the rest of the night, but you'll discover that one of the addresses is for a bar called the Knight's Haven,
Mhm.
and another one is for a diner named the Family Table. But the bar is also attached to a motel, so
And what's the motel?
the Knight's Haven.
Okay.
It's a Knight's Haven motel and the Knight's Haven bar.
And those are the remaining addresses that are left in the ledger?
Those are the two blue addresses that are left to check. Or red addresses, rather.
Yeah.
Because the blue addresses were all havens.
Okay. And you guys recognize these locations at all?
They're all in Kaiser.
Oh, Kaiser.
Andreas might recognize the bar from one of the nights that he had to sleep out there just to keep his distance. It's pirate themed, from what you remember.
Jar.
Oh, I relay that information for whatever good that would do.
The whole side of the wall has this artistic rendering, like the ones that you would find on the late 1970s, like vans of like wizards with like a space background behind them and just this cresting whale.
The van from Onward.
Just like that.
Yeah.
But if there are no further concerns, I think we can jump to Friday night. And in the interim, you guys will discover that the Red Eye Lounge was burned down. And this is a good place to call it for tonight.
My God.
So, as always, I want to thank you guys for participating. I want to thank the audience for following along with us. It has been an interesting story. I can't wait to see where it goes now that you guys are tied up with the Camarilla coterie. As always, let me give you a chance to plug whatever you're up to. So let's start with you, Kenny. Where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found, and what are you up to?
You can find me on Instagram under Mr_, the underscore in between each word. And you can also follow my antics with some of the bears here and some of the bears by myself over on Crit or Die. Currently, I know everybody is playing either Starfield or Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm actually playing WrestleQuest, forgive me. And it is by far the nostalgia that I've been looking for when it comes to wrestling and toy. It's pretty much like Toy Story mashed with wrestling, made it into an RPG. So I'm just enjoying that.
Are you giving people Are you giving anybody the people's elbow?
Oh yeah, no. It is really bad how it's a bad imitation. The character you play as is Muchacho Man.
Muchacho Man. Okay.
Right. So you follow Muchacho Man, and then you have the Honest Bucks, which that is a stupid correlation to the Young Bucks, but whatever. But yeah, no, it's a fun game. Other than that, I am literally counting down the days, and I'm stressing out because of the fact I'm getting married in November. So I got all that. I got that to worry
It's
about.
around the corner.
In fact, chats are blowing up. People are calling me, waiting. Yeah, all this good stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found, and what are you up to?
They can't. I'm entirely with work in my wife's culinary professor job right now. So
Nice. Good luck.
yeah,
Good luck finding him on the internet.
Oh,
All right. And Jeff, what are you up to? Where can people find you on the internet if you want to be found?
I'm not doing much, man. I'm waiting for Q to do her episode of Crimacopia so we can finish this season. But since Bear's getting married, I don't know we're gonna have time for that.
Yeah. Do you guys
I'm
already have an
involved.
idea for the next season?
We're gonna have to. We put up for a vote like we did the last season, so
Okay.
we just gotta come up with we did it last time. We gave like three options, and whoever voted, whatever they voted for, that's what we went with. So I don't want to do serial killers, but that's gonna be one of them. But we'll see.
Okay. All right.
serial killers gets pretty heavy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
Thing is-
And that's robust.
The thing is,
Here.
and I want to do it not like we're gonna do Ted Bundy, and I want to find like the
Obscure
really
serial killers?
obscure stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the whole idea for the podcast. Was I wanted people to learn about stories that they never
Yeah.
even thought about or heard of, or topics.
Shine a light
so-
on an otherwise obscure topic. I get you.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
As always, you can find us here on Mondays for Vampire the Masquerade. We do a 2-part story. Tonight was an Anarch chapter. Next week will be a Camarilla chapter, and they alternate between Mondays. Every Tuesday is devoted to Werewolf the Wild West or Legend of the Five Rings, as they also alternate on nights. Right now, every other Thursday is for 7th Sea here on the channel, but soon we'll be starting a Old Gods of Appalachia game to run concurrently with that on alternating Thursdays. You can catch me this Friday on the last episode of Monster Hearts 2 over McStabber Studios, and on Wednesday we start the 2nd season of Vampire the Dark Ages over there as well. So if you want to see me play a lovable scamp of a La Sombra Spaniard in 1240 something now, because we jumped 50 years from season 1, you should come along and check them out, because they're doing some good stuff. I'm also going to be running for the month of October in their spooky focus. I'm going to be running a Old Gods of Appalachia story set in the Wild West in 1872, just after the Civil War, every Thursday in October. So that miniseries is coming up. So if you want to get some Appalachian horror, highly recommend going over there and checking them out. As always, we take mental health on the channel very seriously. So if you feel like you need help, know that there are phone numbers going up now. If you're live, if you're watching on Twitch, they'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. It is okay to not be okay, and a lot more people need to know that. And if you're a friend or family member of somebody that is a strong or happy-go-lucky personality, please check in on them. You never know how far a simple hello or how are you can change the trajectory of somebody's life. If you're not watching in the United States, or if you are not a fan of phone numbers and calling people or texting people, there's a link going up so you can find the resources in your area that you can kind of reach out to and feel most comfortable in that way. But just know that there are people out there who want to help you and who are open to helping you, and there are resources for you if you need them. Always handle things at your discretion. You are your own best judge of your personality and where your mind is at. But just know that there are people who care and people who want to help you, and that the resources are available if you so need them. As always, thank you so much for being a part of this and for following along on our crazy story. I thank you guys once again for this and seeing where this story is going to go, because I think I just destroyed any plans you might have with that last little announcement. And as always, we will see you when we see you. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.